That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 121 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your camp counselor, David Stokes.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and holly jolly festivities. But,
Ho, ho, ho.
but before we get into our longer stories, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And David, do I have a story for you right here? Because this is close to home.
Okay.
As parents convicted in 2009 Balloon Boy hoax are pardoned.
Oh, God. This is Trump's doing, right?
No, that's what Katie thought as well. It's actually the governor of Colorado.
Okay.
So everybody just slanging their pardons this time of the year, you know?
Yeah.
It's about to be there's so much shit going on. This is the time that you start pardoning people because no one even like I mean, it's going to pop up somewhere like this, but most people just don't. There's too much shit in the news to even, like, care about this. But as many of you may know, David did a story about Balloon Boy. Do you remember what episode that was?
I don't. And I also realized I need to unplug my fridge. So you keep talking.
Okay. Well, as many of you guys know, if you've lived in the year of 2009 at any point, even if you were young, there was a story of a man who built a strange weather balloon in his backyard, and something happened where he went to go release it into the air by pulling a string, and when he did, it floated off into the air, and they couldn't find the youngest son, and they believed him to be on this alien-looking saucer that was just a balloon floating across the Midwest.
Highly flammable.
Highly flammable. There was like, I don't know, kind of like helium in it or something like that. But basically, they finally, the thing finally was grounded. They called the police. They had jets going out. They had helicopters. They had like everybody, National Guard. I don't know who else was out there. But the thing finally landed, and the kid was not in the balloon. And they eventually found him up in the attic. And they're like, what the fuck? And the parents are like, we have no idea what's going on. This is crazy. We had no idea he was up there. We were so scared. And basically, all this stuff started to come out that apparently this family was on wife swap. They really wanted to be famous. They were doing a bunch of experiments and like YouTube videos to try to get famous. And that was like their whole goal, is to try to get a show themselves. And then while they were on the news, the woman was questioning them about the whole ordeal. And the kid said something along the lines of like, I was up they told me not to come down or something like that. And the dad's like, what are you talking about? And you were just up there. You were just like by yourself up there. And like, we didn't tell you. And he's like, yeah. And then he like threw up on air because he was so nervous. But basically what ended up happening was it said Richard Heaney, the dad, served a month in jail after pleading guilty to a felony count of attempting to influence a public servant. And Mayumi Heaney, his wife, was jailed for 20 days for filing a false police report. And they also were ordered to pay $36,000 in restitution. And apparently they've said that they were innocent this entire time, even though that, you know, the media went after them and then they got this jail time. But they were pardoned for some reason, and I don't know exactly why. Katie and I were both trying to figure out why they were pardoned for
what
something.
they're getting pardoned from?
Yeah, exactly. They're not in prison still. Maybe they're pardoned from having to pay the $36,000, but it's been years. 2009. It's been 11 years. I assume that they might have paid it all off, but maybe not. Maybe that cleared their name. It's a very interesting, I don't know, story, but I just know that you were very close to that story, David. So I wanted to update you that the Heaney family is finally cleared, but then Katie just mentioned that if you're pardoned, you were once guilty. So I guess they were guilty. They did get felony counts, but they still claim innocence that they didn't know that he was in there. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right. NFL and Nickelodeon launch kids site with sports betting like elements.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I guess they are making a website where users are encouraged to smash your pick on who will win games, which is a lot like the weekly pick'em. which is I've done my fair share of fantasy football. I've never done the Pick'em League, but I believe it's basically like you get the entire weekly, games, and you pick which one wins, and whoever has like the highest percentage of like picking correctly gets points or wins or whatever. So they're basically doing that for Nickelodeon kids.
But for sports.
Well, yeah, but for football.
Okay, so it's still sports, but I wonder what the prizes are, or if there are any prizes, or if it's ranking, or if it's points that lead to a prize, because there's not money involved, right?
Oh, big money in the kids' Nickelodeon websites. Millions are moved around daily.
You're just playing for gack at this point. You just get slimed.
But hey, gack's like gold, baby.
If you get the most points, you get a nice slime pie. Okay. Ooh. But
oh wait, hold on. A what now?
Don't try to flip this on me. I actually went to Universal Studios when I was very young, and we had to do my brother and I had to play a game where we had to go run across, dip the sponge in green water that they told us was slime, and then we had to run across, and then we had to squeeze it out, and whoever filled it up faster won. And he was on like the little local, probably just like the screen at the park, but we thought we were like famous.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It's such a fucking, they tricked us. We thought we made our big break, but Did you win? You know what? I don't think we did.
Gotta strengthen up those forearms, boy.
I mean, there's another really traumatic story from our childhood when my brother spent all night calling into Radio Disney to get his names. Like, my name's Anthony, and I'm a Radio Disney kid, and I want you to play, like what they were playing, Aaron Carter or JoJo at the time or something like that. They just play this song. And my mom was mad at him because we were staying up so late to try to do that. That she said, "You need to get in the shower right now." He hopped in the shower, and I was still by the radio, and his voice came over the radio, and I heard it. And I ran into the bathroom, and I was like, "Anthony, you were on the radio." And he started crying because he missed it.
Hey, the shower's the best place to cry. 'Cause the tears just mix in with the water.
It's true, but it's also the best place to listen to the radio. We should just set up the radio in that bathroom, right?
Let's make, I have such a good idea. Let's make a waterproof radio you can put in the shower.
They have those. I have a speaker.
No, but like ours would be waterproof.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Mine's just, it breaks in the water. You put it in there and it
zaps you.
It makes you feel funny. You feel faster. I feel like I can run faster when I go in the pool with the radio.
Yeah.
Also the toaster.
Okay.
We shouldn't. Don't do that. Do we have to say that? Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Please.
Don't get in any electronics with the water.
Please don't.
We are men of science, and we can tell you that is the one combination that all men and women of science agree is the worst combination. Also, like chlorine and bleach or something like that. I can't remember what the other one. It makes mustard gas.
Yeah.
Don't do whatever makes mustard gas either. So, anyway, I have another story. As a man pulls 19 hand grenades out of river while magnet fishing. Now, David, do you know what magnet fishing is?
Baby, do I. I've always wanted to give it a shot.
It looks fun. That's kind of like the new thing. It's kind of like the metal detector for 2020.
Yeah, with a better arm workout.
Yeah, for sure. And also in a river where you can't get a metal detector. Beaches are see, that's the thing. It's like the gold rush. We just showed up late to the gold rush when metal detectors came out and people were on the beach. Like, you could find stuff in the sand, but now all the metal detectors have gone over every inch of sand, and there's nothing left for us. So we're stuck to the rivers and the oceans. So what this is, magnet fishing is, it's basically just a giant, or like I don't want to say giant, a baseball-sized magnet. Like
industrial.
Industrial size, like baseball-sized flat magnet that's on a string, and you whip it into the river, and then it just sinks to the bottom and grabs anything metal. So people pull up hubcaps, and they pull up
That's the exciting object you went with
Well, that's
to
what
really
this guy.
entice people.
This guy said that he's pulled up hubcaps, a pair of scissors, a 5p coin, because I don't know what is that a pence? Is that a I don't know what a 5p coin is, but this is obviously in England because we don't have p's in our.
A 5-pound coin.
That's it. Fuck. Okay. I feel so stupid.
You're making everybody around you feel stupid.
At least I know what magnet fishing is. That's the only thing I have going for me at this point. But it's crazy because it says, but you just whip it in the lake and you drag it across and you pull out whatever metal things you find. But it says bomb disposal experts were called out to the site of the outskirts of Birmingham, and I thought it was Alabama. And I'm guessing it's somewhere in the UK. And this guy pulled out 19 grenades out of the river, but I think he pulled out 2, or he pulled out a couple, and he realized that like 2 of them still had pins in them.
Yeah.
So he was like, I need to call the police. So he pulled out grenade after grenade, and they were World War II grenades that still had their pins in place. And that's why I was very confused about the Birmingham thing. I was like, wait a second. Did some guy come home from war and chuck them in a river?
Were they the old potato mashers?
They're the classic looking grenade, like the green
so not like
one.
Not the stick ones that you like pull the end off and.
Oh no! Is that what they're called? Potato mashers, or are you
pretty
just, like,
positive?
Oh really? No, this is just a frag. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, sure.
The green, the classic grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he pulled out 19 grenades. And he said
That's wild.
Speaking of, he said he pulled it out and he thought it was like a dirty potato or something like that. What did he say he thought it was? He took a big old bite out of it and he's like, that tastes like potato. And
I take it back, by the way. The potato masher was a World War I item.
Oh,
by the
really?
Germans.
Was that even made of metal?
The end was, and then the rest of it was wood, it appears.
Oh, interesting. I always wonder, like, the devastation that these grenades can create. You know what I mean?
Oh, they would kill you.
Well, I just saw a video on Reddit of I think it was in China. They were doing like military exercises, and it says like man saves other man from grenade after he drops it, and they were like practicing, and he threw the grenade and it, like slipped out of his hand, and the guy just like took the guy, threw him over the barrier, and then like crawled on top of him, and the grenade blew up. And I was like, that grenade didn't blow up as big as I thought it was going to.
They might use maybe smaller ones for practice.
You know what? Yeah, you're probably right, honestly. Because I look at that and I go,
I can handle that.
I could jump on that. That's another thing we tell you not to do. Don't jump on any grenades.
Unless
you're Captain America.
Yeah.
And you have to prove your devotion towards the army.
Little scrawny man jumps on grenade, wakes up a big buff hunk. Is that what you want? You want to wake up a big buff hunk?
Oh, man. I wish.
Me too.
I pray every night. I just want to be a buff hunk. Give me a grenade to jump on. Why are you doing this to me, God? But
this is God's fault.
But so if next time you want to have some fun, go take your industrial sized magnet to the river and get hucking. See what you can find in there. I don't think there's many interesting things that are made of metal at the bottom of the river that are worth money, at least. But like,
no, probably not.
19 grenades from World War II is somebody will pay money for that.
Oh yeah, big time. So I got one here. McDonald's China offers burger featuring Spam and crushed Oreos.
What?
Spam and crushed Oreos. From the photo, it looks like you got the classic McDonald's bun, a whole big old heap of mayonnaise, a shit ton of crushed Oreos on top of 2 big old slaps of Spam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Are we sure it's mayonnaise and not Oreo cream?
It looks a lot like it's glistening too much to be the cream.
Okay, wait, but is this something that people have demanded? Is this something that like McDonald's is like we're really having a hard time over here? It's only in China, I'm guessing, right?
For now,
Is Spam and chocolate like a thing that we don't know about, like a flavor profile that we're just not aware of?
well, they describe the taste of the Oreo and Spam burger as tender and juicy, full of meatiness, with a hint of sweet aftertaste. An
I feel like-
unimaginable double surprise.
I feel like they could have got that with like just like some kind of soy glaze going on, right? A little sweetness. They didn't have to go crushed Oreos. I mean, I'm all for Oreos. We talked about Oreos. Was it last episode?
Probably.
How many calories they are?
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, I've never had Spam. Have you had Spam?
I have.
Is it good? Can you eat it raw? I know it's already cooked like a hot dog.
Yeah, you can eat it raw.
But do you just throw it in like a pan and grill it up, crush
So
some Oreos?
it comes in a big old block. You can chop it up as you please, maybe some slices, maybe some cubes, and then you can cook it up, make it a little crispy.
Is it you like it though?
It's-
Yeah. How many times have you eaten it?
I've eaten it once, and it was years ago, so I'm honestly not a good source here. I remember it being pretty salty.
Okay, I mean it's in a can, like they have to probably douse it, and like it
Yeah.
was a wartime thing as well. So hey, you might be able to find a can of Spam at the bottom of that river, and it'll still taste just as salty. It never loses its salt. So I could vouch for Oreos. I cannot vouch for Spam. So I say go for it if you're in China. I say
Yeah.
like any weird combination of food. I was actually just thinking about that fucking Korean pizza that we talked about a long time ago. It was like a hot dog on every slice with like onions and Dijon mustard. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Keep talking. What else is on it?
You hated it when we talked about it.
Well, I want to point out real quick that this I guess is it a burger? Is $2, $2 American. So I mean, if I see that, I think that's worth the $2 to go on a little exploration of flavor.
I mean, because Spam can't be that far off from what like a McDonald's patty is already, right?
Well, I know Spam is pretty cheap.
Yeah, a McDonald's patty is probably cheaper than Spam.
Yeah, probably, but I mean that's also I don't know.
But no, I mean, I guess it fits no one's going to be paying. See, that's one of those burgers that you just have to try out anyway. So you're like, I'm not going to pay $5 just to try something that I might not like. So they thought a lot about that price point. I'd pay $2 to try that one.
It averaged an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
And-
I should just do my own experiments over here.
Well, they said that it's in the article they pointed out that it's probably one of the easiest do it yourself.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Sounds like a nightmare Whopper to me, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm down to try it.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have any more news stories, David, or are we just
Yeah,
ready to
I
get
I got one more good one right here.
Okay, here we go.
Police hunt well-dressed man who drew penis pictures on pavement by spinning wheels of electric bike.
I don't even know what that means.
So he was doing like burnouts with his electric bike, leaving tire marks on the ground, and he was drawing penises all over the place.
Oh.
And they found it worth noting that he was a well-dressed man, and the police are out for him.
How come Georgia O'Keeffe can do that with vaginas, but electric bicycle man can't do that with penises on public property on his electric bike?
We need to stop trying to mute his art.
Yeah, it's art. Okay, you guys. Give him
And
a couple
this guy-
Spam Oreo burgers. Let him. I love how he was doing it on an electric bike. That's the best part of it.
I
So-
mean,
It's silent but deadly. You know, you never hear him coming. It's all electric, baby.
all I gotta say is news.com.au are a bunch of cowards who won't show me pictures of these dicks.
That's the thing too. I want to know how good these depictions are. Balls would be
Yeah.
easy, right? Because like the balls are round. So if you just want Tokyo Drift around those balls, you're fine.
Yeah, I want to see it. Oh wait, I can kind of see it. They're smaller than I imagined. Actually, that's why I didn't see them in the first photos. I take it back. They're not cowards. They are pretty small. I would say they're probably about a foot long. I was expecting these things to be like 10
Yeah,
feet.
that is small, David.
You know what I mean.
No, I'm just speaking from experience.
Stop it. The art looks great.
I think that's small. Do you?
Stop it.
This is the Christmas episode. Why are you ruining it?
I know. Come on. What do you think Santa would say?
He would say, yeah, that's pretty small.
Oh, you know Santa's packing. He's got a fucking ankle slapper.
Do you know Santa always checks if the chimney has a fire down the bottom by
Don't know.
dipping? He dips in just to check. He's like, "Ooh, it feels hot down there."
What was the hobo term for
honey
washing?
dipping?
Yeah, he's honey dipping. He's honey dipping the present hole.
You gotta watch out. Sometimes they have a fire. Sometimes it makes it roast the spam. You brown the spam sometimes. Sometimes you're too quick and you brown the spam. Oh, you gotta add some crushed Oreos on it to alleviate the burns. We ruined Christmas for everybody. You're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Dickmas. Are you ready to get into these stories, David?
I think you've got one more thing you need to talk about.
Oh, I do. I do have one more thing. I'm sorry. So we received a letter in the mail from two fans, and it says, "Dear Alex and David."
There are a lot of typos. Just be wary of that.
It says, "Dear Alex and David, Betty the Ignorant Slut and Chody would like to sponsor Camp Strange. However, you can't reveal our true identities," which we don't even know because it's just Betty the Ignorant Slut and Chody, of course.
Yeah.
"You may say that these two old women have been friends since 1978, and we love Camp Strange." We haven't been around that long, but they still love us. "And we just want to hear our names mentioned." Oh, so there you go, Betty the Ignorant Slut and Chody. It also says that Betty secretly wants to do Gary. I'm sorry, Betty, but Gary is just a young 14-year-old boy as of right now. We'll let you know when he becomes of age. They said they're not lovers, but we do a lot of traveling without our husbands. So the imagination is there.
Who fucking knows what that's supposed to mean?
They also say that we have some great twisted stories if ever needed. And Betty's dad grew up in Doc Cotton's crazy house, and she is the great-great-grandfather of Alla Nazimova.
Wait, it said that she was the grandfather?
Oh, did I say father? She was a great-great... She was the great-great-granddaughter of Alla Nazimova, who ran the Garden of Allah. So he has a Hollywood star, whoever Nazimova is. I had to do some research, but he has a little movie picture, a little camera next to his star. So he's obviously.
I think it was a female. I think it was a lady.
Oh, it was a lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Allah. That's Alla. Okay, maybe. And I don't know what Doc Cotton's crazy house is, but I also need to really figure that out. So, we'd like to thank you, Betty the Ignorant Slut and Chody. And of course, the ignorant slut is a reference to Dan Aykroyd, I believe, on SNL. Janice, you ignorant slut. Is that correct? Janice.
That would make more sense that The Office quoted that.
You're right. Michael Scott did quote that. But we'd like to thank you, Chody and Betty, the not so ignorant slut, because we don't think you're ignorant. Thank you so much. So we just wanted to do a little shout out as well. Very confusing but very nice letter. It's a little cryptic and it's a lot
of hidden messages in there, I think, or just really bad typos.
Yeah, but it's fun nonetheless, and we really appreciate it. So thank you guys.
I would also like to point out that they left the R in Strange out when they were typing Camp Strange.
It's just Camp Strange. Why are you being weird about it? It's Camp Strange. Sometimes we're a little strange. Sometimes we're a little stange.
Yeah. I
You
feel
knew
very stangy right now.
Stangy. So, I guess we should just get into these stories because we got them ready for you guys.
Yeah,
and
let's do it.
It's Christmas, so
At Christmas.
we have some presents for you.
It is Christmas Day. We're
is.
not trying to say that we're strictly a Christmas podcast. We respect and honor all religion and holidays that you guys celebrate. It's just the fact that we are landing this episode on
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah. Happy
Yeah.
Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Boxing Day. Anyway, so let's get
Is
into
that a
it.
thing?
Yeah, it's the day after Christmas, I believe. It's for Canadians and some Europeans. I don't want to generalize.
I made the assumption that it was referring to all of the boxes from all of these Amazon packages that people will just lazily wrap.
I don't even wrap my Amazon packages anymore. I'm just like, open it. You still don't know what's inside. Just they wrapped it for me.
Yeah. Do you have any good Christmas Day activities like that? What's your favorite moment of Christmas Day?
Oh shit, David. Come on.
I mean, I can tell you mine, give you some time to think.
When my parents stopped yelling at each other. No, you go first. You go first.
So my father every year, I don't know when this started, but every year my father gets everybody the same exact gift. And they're always very random items, and he'll just like come into the room with either a box or a bag and just start throwing them at people. And they're all the same thing. I believe last year they were snow shovels. The year before that, I think they were padded bicycle pants, like the tights. When I didn't even own a bicycle at the time.
You had legs, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I think my favorite year was the year he showed up with just this big box full of these small animal flashlights that had like a carabiner end, and then the front end was you'd like push a button down and its jaw would open, and like a little LED flashlight was in it.
That's fun.
And he had a ton of them. Like he gave them to my friends. He had to have had at least like 40 of them. And he loved those things so much that it made me love them even more.
Yeah, that's always fun. I mean, the useless gift is usually the most fun gift, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I think this kind of leads into mine. One of my favorite things was my grandma would always buy like some weird shit from like QVC. She loved QVC, which was obviously the infomercial channel, and she would always buy stuff from there. So some years we would open up and get like a flashlight, like you said, that could like look behind the couch, like it had like a snake.
It showed love stains.
snake attachment to it, so you could like stretch it out underneath the couch
Behind the washing machine.
And then another one of my favorite things was every single morning I'd wake up, on Christmas, and I would go over to the cookies, speaking of Oreos, and like the carrots, and I would analyze the bite marks on them. And I'd be like, that's so weird. And every year I'd be like, the reindeer teeth look exactly like Santa's teeth. Is Santa eating the carrots as well? And my parents were like, don't pay attention to that. Like, go open your presents. And I wouldn't drop it. And I'd be like, no, look at the bite marks on the carrots. They look so strange.
I would assume that the carrots are for the reindeer.
Yeah, exactly. But
I've never heard of this before. I like it.
They had Santa. Oh, you didn't leave celery and carrots out?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing that.
Oh, really? Am I just like a generous guy?
I don't know, but I love it. I'm all in on it.
It's very fun, but we found out Santa was eating these carrots and celery too.
Well, he baby birds them to the reindeer.
Oh, you're right. He spits them up through the chimney because they can't come in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's a good spitter. Anyway, so
hold on. I got a confession I want to get out before the news
Jesus.
gets broken by TMZ or anything. You know how every person grew up, with their classmates, and I want to say it's probably around, later in elementary school, midway through elementary school, when people, small children cover your ears, that, Santa may or may not be real. And
wait, what?
Every class has that one kid who really believes in Santa far too long.
My mom would always say, you don't believe, you don't receive.
Yeah.
She
So,
blackmailed me into believing.
I was that kid who believed it for far too long to the point that it was inappropriate how old I was.
I
Um,
figured.
But then there's a big but here, and
Oh, there's always a big but.
especially in my
If Santa's
family.
there, there's always a big O in your family.
My parents, I think it was more of my mother than it was my father, had this, just like this ancient leather strap that had a bell on it, and it had to have been like 100 years old.
Oh wow!
And my mom left it on our deck, our backyard deck, one time in the snow. And I remember as a kid, like finding it in the snow, and like, oh my god, this fell off of Santa's sleigh.
Oh.
And it looked like it came, like this thing, it was ancient. I think we still have it somewhere. But that one piece of evidence, boy, that made me believe for far too long.
Wait, was that a purposeful leave, or did she forget
Yes.
about it?
No, my mom
Oh,
did
it
that
wasn't
on
buried
purpose.
beneath the snow. It was like on top of the snow.
Yes.
Oh, good job, Mom.
Yeah, that one really messed me up. It still keeps me up at night.
It really kept his childhood wonder alive, but really ruined his reputation at school.
Yeah, people still make fun of me.
Hey, there's Bell Strap Guy. He wore it on his neck for a whole year at school.
Yeah.
I'm Santa's best friend. You guys don't know that?
You guys don't even know Santa like I know Santa. This is his bell.
I love that guy. Well, those are some good Christmas stories to lead into some bad Christmas stories. So let's get into these stories we got for you today. Now, David, it's Christmas. And although Christmas is a time for joy, cheer, and horrible anxiety as you open your credit card app and see how much money you've spent in just a month,
Oh yeah.
it is also a time of evil creatures. Now, we've all heard of Krampus. I think last year.
I think
you
I did it
Krampus.
last year.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
See, we've all heard of Krampus, the Xmas boogeyman / goat demon who kidnaps children for being naughty. But I bet you didn't know that those damn Europeans have many more creatures out there who have to pick up the slack for Krampus as he tries to hurry his heavy goat ass all over Europe. So today, I will be telling you about two other Christmas creatures who love to deal out the pain during the holiday season. That's right, I'm talking Frau Perchta and Hans Trapp.
Hans Trapp sounds familiar.
Oh, I bet he does. He probably whooped your ass when you were a child.
Probably a lot.
That was
of
probably
people
his
did.
bell. probably his bell. He was waiting for you. You took the bait, man.
He hit me so hard with that fucking thing it broke off, and I forgot about all of it.
Yeah, I hit you in the head. Concussion. But those are just very like European names. The one thing I've noticed is there are like a lot of German / Austrian folklore surrounding Christmas and surrounding evil creatures. And a lot of these evil creatures were invented to keep children in line, which I come to the conclusion that German children are the worst children.
Just
Or
the absolute worst.
Or possibly the best now. They were the worst, and now they're the best because they just have the fear of God in them. So let's get into these creatures. So, like the first one I said is Frau Perchta. See, Frau Perchta, a staple in the Alpine regions of southern Germany and Austria, and has terrorized the area for centuries. You see, Frau Perchta, also known as Bertha or Spinning Room Lady,
Yeah, why not?
is often depicted as a type of old crone with a beaked nose made of iron, old dirty rags draped over her bony body, and carrying a cane for that stinky ass leg David also suffers from.
Oh no.
But unfortunately, for all of us, a cane isn't the only thing she's packing.
Oh no, gross.
Not that. That's Santa.
Oh.
See, Frau Perchta is said to carry a long, sharp, rusted blade around with her to use for the townsfolk that do not meet her expectations of how you should be living. So she's just like showing up judging the shit out of you, and then possibly using a knife on you, depending on whether she likes your lifestyle or not, you know?
You should be smiling more. Eat your carrots. Cook the dog.
Oh, I don't want to cook the dog. That's a deep cut. It is said that Frau demands that all of your flax be spun by January 6th. That's her first. By the way, flax, I'm still not 100% sure. I thought it was flaxseed, which is supposed to be very nutritious.
Well, flax would be the flour it comes off of.
Oh, but you
I
can't
believe.
spin flour.
Why
Spinning
not?
flax, once the fiber is spun, it is called linen. You will spin flax fibers to produce linen thread. Oh, or yarn. So flax is how you make linen or yarn. Okay.
So versatile.
Look at that. Look at
Wow.
that, baby. You learn something new every day.
Respect to the flax.
So all my yarn better be fucking on my doorstep on January 6th, or I'm sending Frau Perchta to your house. So her first, expectation is, like I said, you got to spin all your flax by January 6th. The second is that you have an unexceptionally neat house. She really likes a neat house, and that you leave her a bowl of porridge. And if you don't meet one of these requirements, then she is said to, not that bad, trample and even light ablaze your half-spun fibers. So she's just burning the shit out of all your yarn. But
Because I love a good trampling.
also, there's like a little bit of like I know like all of these are like grounded in like you want to scare your children, but this one just seems like it's like somebody made this to be like, I want someone to clean my house and make sure that I have yarn. Also, the porridge is just like you got to feed them. They're hungry.
Yeah.
All that beating the shit out of people and stabbing them, really takes the energy out of you.
Yeah.
But if you happen to miss all three of these, then she does something a little different than just burning up your yarn. It is said that Frau is to sneak into the room of the accused, where she draws her old rusty blade from under her smelly and dirty rags, dragging the blade across your abdomen, and then ripping your intestines from your body like a child who just realized that he's opening a Nintendo 64 on Christmas morning.
Oh, baby.
Oh, Nintendo 64! I love that kid. He's so good.
Me too. Oh, I love that kid.
He's so good. He'd really rip your intestine out before you could even digest that oatmeal.
I like he's probably like my age.
Oh, I think he's a little bit older than you, honestly.
Maybe.
I saw him on like Tosh.0, and
Oh, that's
gave-
right.
they
Is that
gave
still
him
a show?
I think it is. Holy shit. Anyway, but don't worry, because after she cuts you open and rips out all your intestines, she isn't just one to take without giving. So Frau will, of course, give you something as well. And that something is not the safe call of a Starbucks gift card. No, she fills your abdomen with stones and straw.
Okay, building a little cottage in there. I like it. Cozy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's all that was in Germany in those times. Just like what did we have the most of? Like stones and straw. Like yeah, just put them in there. Why not?
Clop of dirt.
Bad child. They shoved a bad child in your abdomen. Now you gotta give birth to him twice. This fucking Christmas sucks. So if you're lucky enough now to have Frau in your house, then you can maybe spot her. If you're lucky enough not to have Frau in your house, then you could maybe spot her in the night sky during the month, as she is said to ride through the sky with her army of servants and lost souls that resemble Krampus-like creatures called the Wild Hunt. So, so she rides through the sky with a bunch of like Krampus goat monster demons.
Yeah.
Which is a dope gang to have, honestly.
Yeah.
Talk about intimidating. I wouldn't fuck with you. But there's also like another aspect to her gang that is a little weird, because apparently her gang's also filled with unbaptized babies.
So that's where they go. I've been wondering where they ended up.
Sometimes I walk into my room where my baby is that I hadn't baptized, and I go,
Yeah. I'm gonna get around to it.
I'm like, where's the baby tonight? I swear. Okay, I'm pretty sure I put it in this crib to go to sleep. And then the baby just comes walking through the door and is like, oh, sorry, Dad. Was out with the boys tonight.
Oh, you're with your social club. Sorry, son, I forgot.
I was out with my goat guys tonight. It was the wild hunt, no big deal. We were just cutting people open and filling them with straw and stones.
We were just hoofing around, you know.
So, like I said, legend has it, if you hear the wind and thunder roaring and rumbling through the mountains on a cold December night, you're really hearing the sound of Perchta leading the wild hunt.
It's awesome. Wow, the wild hunt. I like that. I'm also pretty sure that was a Witcher thing.
Oh, there's like I don't know if the wild hunt consists of just that. I've heard of another wild hunt that I almost covered in a story where I don't know what it consisted of, but it was like another like Nordic thing, I believe, where it was like demons or ghosts or spirits or something going on like in the night, and I don't know.
But this a cool name.
Yeah, exactly. But this one was just Frau, her goat boys, and some unbaptized babies. You bring the babies with you this time? Oh, no, there's no unbaptized babies in this town. Well, how the fuck are we supposed to look intimidating, Craig?
I don't get it. Babies were nothing.
I don't get it. No one's going to take us serious if we don't have any unbaptized babies in the gang. But, you know, that's just the roll of the dice sometimes. And
so to confirm, were they dead unbaptized babies?
You know what they didn't clarify? I like to think they're alive, David.
It makes it better, honestly.
Yeah,
it's okay, they're dead. Cool, dead babies. No, I want them to be alive.
Exactly. I want the babies to sneak out because they're like they put on a leather jacket. Yeah. They crawl through the on fire chimney because they don't give a fuck. They're unbaptized. Like they don't burn. They don't feel any pain.
No.
Once you're baptized, then you're human. So they just crawl up through that chimney. They throw the Batman grappling hook that he used to take the guy out of the building. You know that one. Everyone's seen The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
When he takes the Yakuza boss dude.
Yeah.
And then he's just up there.
The helicopter?
He's just up there. It's like an extraction.
Or no, is it a helicopter or is it a plane?
No, remember all the SWAT runs in and they put the guns on Batman and he has like the Yakuza boss like by the neck, and then all of a sudden he just like flies out of the building because he throws up the hook liner, and like the drone plane goes by and like rips him out of the building holding the guy.
Wasn't it more of a blimp? Sorry, this does not matter
you're right.
at all.
It was kind of like a blimp.
Okay. Continue.
Blimp unbaptized baby. Dude, there's no continuing to this. This is done. This is so done. But then he just comes back in the morning and he's just like, Dad, sorry, I was out all night. I was with my boys. And he's piss drunk. That baby's so fucking drunk.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
A thimble of mom's milk mixed with some Kahlua.
Ooh, baby.
So, okay, let's get into our next guy that we have. Hans Trapp. You see, Hans Trapp is a legendary figure in the Alsace and Lorraine regions of France. So this is technically a French guy, but he's kind of like also German.
So he's a little French.
He's a little French. He's a little Germain.
Germain. Nice to meet you.
While there are several variations of the tale, the most popular one says that he was a cruel man of great wealth. However, he acquired his wealth not through hard work, but from acts of magic and pacts with demons. He himself being a man who worshipped Satan. To be completely honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you, David. If I could earn money not through hard work, but by creating pacts with demons, I think I would take that.
Yeah, take that one every time, huh?
Seriously. He'd be like, what's the deal? I'd be like, oh, yeah, just like sign this in your blood and like we'll give you $1 million. I'm like, and I don't do any hard work. They're like, no, it's cool. And he's like, okay. Because once you do it once, your soul's gone, right?
Yeah, you might as well get the most out of it.
Yeah, then you can sign as many packs as you want. I'll start signing my friends up.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what did you get? I'd be like, oh, I got a free stock.
With Robin Hood.
That's what I'm saying. If you just sell your soul to the devil, I got a free hell stock. It's pretty good. And I mean stocks
nice.
I mean stocks in both sense of stocks in like Robin Hood stocks, like, you know, the market, but I also mean like the kind that you put your head and arms through and people throw tomatoes at your face.
Oh, not like a vegetable stock?
Like a corn?
Like what you make soup with?
Oh my god, there's so many fucking stocks, dude. I can't even handle this right now. You know, like a stock of corn is a thing too.
I'm just juggling the stocks.
Oh, I thought you meant when you stand outside your ex-girlfriend's house. Let's just keep it going. What else you got, man?
Oh, boy. I'm bone dry.
I thought you meant on a gun.
Oh, there you go.
I can do this all night. You know who else has guns? Satan. So let's get back into the stories.
Satan has every gun, actually.
He's just got too many bazookas down there. Yeah. Bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. So, it said that he was heartless, vain, greedy, and would revel in sin. Hell yeah. That sounds like an unbaptized baby to me.
Oh, yeah.
So when the Vatican had heard of Trapp's cruelty and occultism, he was arrested and brought before the Pope. I think it's crazy that somebody could just be like, hey, did you hear David's been worshiping the devil in his house? And everyone's like, what? And then like the Pope calls you in and was like, have you been worshiping the devil? And he's like, no. And then he's like, I don't believe you. And then they just like kill you or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like the witch trial shit.
Exactly. I mean, that's all this basically was, just like witch trials repeating through history. But they didn't kill him because he was arrested and brought before the Pope, and then he was excommunicated for Satanism and demonolatry, which is what I majored in. And upon returning back to France, he discovered that his land and property were confiscated from him, and he was left without a single penny. Which is, to be honest, I think I'd rather, at that point, I'd be like, why didn't you guys just kill me? And they're like, no, now Kenneth lives in your house. And he's like, I like God. And he's like, God damn it.
It's going to ruin all the draperies.
He's living in my Satan house. I spent a lot of soul on that house.
He better not dust the skulls.
Oh, God, he better not look under the bed. If he looks under the bed, he's going to be so mad. He's probably wondering why the room stinks so bad. Don't look under the bed.
Keep your filthy God-loving eyes away from under the bed. It's all my stuff.
So the villagers of his hometown shunned and banished him to the woods in nearby Germany, which is honestly, that's not a bad deal. They're like, we don't like you in the town. I'm doing English.
Yeah, I was
they're
gonna
living
say,
in Germany.
Yeah.
It's still in English, but they're like, you get out of this town. You go live in the woods. And now he's just like, I like the woods.
Black Forest.
Do you guys not know I worship the devil? And they're like, oh, maybe we should have kept him in town then to keep an eye on him. And they're like, that's like being like, you do meth? We're banishing you to the woods. And he's like, so I can make meth? And then someone's like, I guess you're right. We should have kept an eye on him. So this is Germany's fault. But like you said, the Black Forest, correct?
Yeah.
That's in Germany. That's where
pretty positive.
Yeah, it's a lot of the fodder for the Brothers Grimm stories came from.
Yeah, I was thinking more of the gummy bears.
Oh.
the German gummy bears, Black Forest gummy bears.
Those aren't from Germany, are they?
I don't know.
I know
Black Forest ham.
I like the Haribo Forest. That one's my favorite.
A little sour.
Haribo?
I like how tough they are. It's like a jaw workout.
Oh, my God, yeah. I like to really fuck my job. Oh, look good. Women like that. Oh, my jaw's so strong, but my teeth are so fucking rotten. Come here, kiss me.
Don't look at my teeth. Look at my jaw. Look at my jaw. Hey, don't look at my teeth.
I haven't flossed in a millennia. Come here, give me a kiss.
I haven't flossed in 10 years because there's nothing to floss.
Don't look under
the whole rope.
Don't look under the bed. That's where my teeth are. So, enraged and full of scorn for those who took everything away from him, he devoted himself more and more to his dark sorcery. I called it, he's making meth in the woods, everybody.
Hey-o.
Germany, you brought this upon yourself. And also,
Germany invented meth. You heard it first. You heard it here first.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Germany invented meth. I hope you're happy, Germany. Also, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but
Really derailed you.
You really caught me off with that Germany meth comment. That was cool.
That was really cool, huh? You liked it?
So, yeah, I did. I loved it. Oh, also, that's what I was going to say. How come the villagers could just be like, he gets back there and like, we took your house. And he's like, you guys can't do that. And he's like, no, the Pope excommunicated you, so we just took your house. And he's like, this is highly illegal, but like, everyone hates me. The cops are just going to fucking stab me with a pitchfork if I go complain. Like, I'll just go walk off into the woods and see what they got in there.
Yeah.
Probably. So, what, David?
I said meth. That's probably what they have in the woods.
They got meth in the woods. So, all he could think about was taking revenge on the villagers who exiled him, which is fair. I would do the exact same thing, especially I just made all my money off demon bonds, demon stocks, and bonds. And his hermitage in the woods made him go insane from isolation and his satanic ways, and soon he found himself craving. What was he craving, David? What do you crave when you go deep into the German forest and everyone fucking hates you?
Bones.
Close.
The bones are our money.
So are the worms. No, David, he craved the taste of human flesh.
I was going to go with blood, but I thought bones was funnier.
Oh, yeah. Bones too crunchy, blood's too liquidy. He needs a nice middle ground, a nice, as they like to call it
Puree.
in Germany, a Black Forest gummy bear. That's what they call human flesh back there. So he became obsessed with the idea of cannibalism, and you know I love a good cannibal, David.
Yeah, we know.
So, and I always say this, if I'm on a boat and everyone's like, we have to eat the guy, I'm like, let's do it. I'll do it. And everyone's like, oh, we never talked about it after. I'd be like, that's the only thing that would make me interesting beyond that point. People are like, what? They're like, everybody stand up in the class and say one interesting fact about you. And then somebody stood up and they're like, I graduated valedictorian from high school. I'm like, I ate a guy on a boat.
And I got away with it.
And guess what? We had food.
It was worse coming out than he was going in.
Well, you're supposed to stink if you eat human meat, so you're not supposed to eat it.
We talked about that last episode, 2 episodes ago?
Dude, I talk about it every goddamn day.
That's true.
So let's continue.
Keep bringing that up.
So he started obsessing about the idea of cannibalism, and so he came up with a plan. This is the best plan I've ever fucking heard. He would disguise himself as a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Wearing raggedy clothing and stuffing it with straw and sticks. Ooh, a little Frau. And would wait in a field for his prey to come by. Honestly, I feel like there's 10 different ways. There's 10 different better ways to go about trying to eat somebody, right?
Yeah, probably.
I never leaned towards dressing up as a scarecrow and standing in a field.
Especially back when like mobs ran around with pitchforks and what, Tobin?
Cigars. Oh, mobs?
Yeah.
And torches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you not a good. Oh, I stuffed my shirt full of straw. I'm extra flammable, baby.
Dry straw and twigs. This is not looking good.
No, he's literally just a bunch of tinder right there. He's getting ready to light up any moment. So one day, a very young shepherd boy, it says about 10 years old, came strolling through the field, and as the boy was walking by the scarecrow in the field, all of a sudden, the straw man reared up, thrusting what into him, David? Not sexual. I just want to know what you think this scarecrow has as a weapon.
a scythe.
Oh, you
Or a
would
sickle.
think from the Batman movies, from the Batman comics. No, this guy, you remember, it's like 1400s Germany. He's simple. He used a sharpened stick.
Oh, hey, gets the job done.
It's an oldie but a goodie. I tell you, if you want to go after a 10-year-old, oh man, all you need is a sharpened stick and a chest full of hay.
And a fire to burn the evidence.
So he thrust a sharpened stick into the child and he killed him. Not so great on Christmas Day.
That sucks.
Yeah, not great. So dragging his corpse back to his house, I guess he built a new house in the forest, Hans butchered the child into pieces and roasted him over his fire.
I don't like this one.
No, you're not supposed to like Hans. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
When I told you there was cannibalism involved, what did you think was going to happen, David?
He's going to eat an old man, and it was
By
a
this-
dying wish.
Oh, that would be nice. He's like, I've always wanted to be eaten alive.
I'll
And now-
live through you.
Now everyone's happy. But don't worry, David, because just as he was about to take his first bite of flesh, God came down and struck him with a bolt of lightning, cracking his skull open and killing him instantly.
Fuck yeah.
And my big question is, couldn't he have done this before he killed the boy with a stick?
Well, you got to let him commit the crime before he pays, the time.
Everybody's like, oh, God, everything happens for a reason. And God's just watching this scarecrow kill a young boy with a stick. And he's like, you just wait. I'm going to hit him in the head with a lightning bolt.
Killing him's one thing, but if you try to eat that boy,
you
then I'm going to crack you open like a watermelon.
What are you doing? I let you kill him. Now you're going to go chop him up. Oh, he didn't even season the boy. Now I got to hit him with the bolt. No
Bolts
salt
up,
and
baby.
pepper? Add a little garlic to that. Come on, what the hell you doing?
Is it too late to rule out that it was Thor?
It might have been Thor.
Okay.
I hate how they cut that out of the movie. The whole
What?
Scarecrow killing the young boy with a stick and
Yeah.
then Thor coming down. That could have been his intro into the Marvel universe. And
That
they
would have been
really botched it.
Yeah.
Hate
That
it.
would have been cool, man.
It would have been so cool. But parents of
They
the
just
North,
eat that little fucking kid, Jonathan Tremblay or whatever his name is.
the
Yeah, that
one
little
from
kid that's in
Room,
everything. Yeah,
the
I
one
think.
from- Tremblay.
Yeah, he just fucking eats that kid.
Yeah. Is he in one of those movies?
He was in someone's belly.
Yeah.
The kid's in everything.
I can't remember his first name.
It's Jonathan.
It's not Jonathan.
No?
Jonathan
Timmy?
Taylor Thomas.
No, that's a snack.
I eat him.
No.
He's like 5'4" now. Anyway,
Really
so
shooting up the wall.
so parents of the northeastern region of France warned their children that every Christmas Hans Trapp's spirit would come back dressed as a scarecrow. There's nothing better than a fucking Christmas scarecrow. But little did you know, David, Hans Trapp was based on a real person, though. You see,
I thought this was real the whole time.
There have been some liberties taken, but there was a real person by the name of Hans von Trotha, who was a German knight in the 1400s, who commanded 2 castles in the Palatine, which is a French-German territory. The 2 castles were entrusted to him by the church, and Hans was known to be a very greedy and very petty man, and that all became even more evident when he became embroiled in an argument with the church over the property in one of the castles. See, long story short, the abbot or head monk of the local monastery believed that the belongings within the castle belonged to the church, while Hans believed that they were his. So in retaliation, Hans decided to dam up a river that led to the small town below his castle, and as a result, the town went into a drought as a reservoir formed behind Hans's new dam. So he just cut off all the water to the town, and a huge reservoir formed by his castle up on the hill, basically. Just when the town thought things couldn't get worse, Hans tore down the dam, resulting in the town flooding and causing a massive structural and economic devastation.
This dude's just like a fucking terrorist.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. So when the Pope heard of these petty atrocities, he called Hans to come to Rome to answer for his actions. But instead, Hans just sent a letter accusing the church of debauchery. And as a result, the Pope excommunicated Hans from the church, cutting him off from friends, family, and his status as a knight. And eventually, years later, he was pardoned and even knighted again, and his name was his name was forever remembered in the Palatine territory as one of greed, pettiness, and evil, eventually forming his name into the infamous legend known as Hans Trapp. So he did. It kind of sucks because he did get like everything back eventually. But his name was like forever ruined, and people like didn't like him because of like his horrible reputation. So like even if like your politician friends were like, "Oh, we'll knight you and we'll bring respect back to your name," it's all the public, the public perception that really decides whether you're liked or not. It's not a guy going, "No, everybody should like you again." It's like, sorry, you burned your bridges, or should I say, broke the dam.
Oh,
and I'll wrap it up with this. Although it's been a tough year for most of us, just remember that if we made it this long without getting disemboweled, struck by lightning, or eaten by a scarecrow, then we can make it through a pandemic. So while we sit stuck at home waiting for 2020 to end, remember to stave off the evil creatures of Christmas by doing things like being proactive. Maybe tidying up every once in a while to keep a positive mindset like we did for Frau. Or remembering to stay generous and give to the ones who may be doing worse than us in these tough times. And of course, remembering to stay strange. So that's my Christmas out. That's my end of the year out.
lovely. Well, I mean, we got one more episode.
Enthused. No, I know, but I just wanted to, we're in the Christmas spirit of giving and being generous and everything. That's not my wrap up for the year, but that's just like my Christmas tidings to be good people,
Yeah.
So that's that. That's
Just
the way.
Just heartwarming.
Dude, I always try to bring a little warm heart to it. That warm, delicious heart.
When I get to the end of my story, I can't wait for it to be fucking done.
Why? What's your story about,
kidding.
David?
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Tobin. So this story is one I am hopeful that not many listeners have heard of before, because this is a relatively lesser-known story, and it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, which confirmed to me that you haven't done this one yet, because you would have nothing to copy and paste into a Word document.
You wish I copied and pasted.
Boom roasted.
Fuck you.
God, I got you good. There's your Christmas present, you fucking animal.
Fucking asshole.
So yes, I found this story written on a brick wall in the alley off of North Wabash Avenue between Yala Dance Studio and the 25th East Washington Shopping Mall, home of Chicago Dental, downtown Chicago, Illinois. This graffiti told me to investigate the story of Steven Kubacki.
Wait, is this real?
The story, yeah, it's real.
You were not in Chicago.
No, I've never been to Chicago.
Then this was in Chicago? I'm so confused. This is a setup.
No, the setup's done. It was just a joke. It was a goof. It was a gaff.
Fuck.
I just don't know how to bring it in.
I always fall for it.
No. So, Steven Kubacki was a student at Hope College, a 4-year liberal arts college where academic excellence and a vibrant Christian faith joined together in a supportive and welcoming community.
Aww.
Isn't that pleasant?
I want a Satan college where we
sure
just go into the woods and make meth all day.
Be hard to get a job with that on your resume. So you attended a 4-year school, correct?
It felt like millennia. Devil time. Hell time.
My professors were the best, being that they were ancient gods.
I've been around for years.
It was not so much a 4-year college, but a 6.
Ooh. Ooh.
I had a few senior years.
I'm not a doctor. I'm just bad at school.
So this college is located near the southeastern shore of Lake Michigan. One day in February 1978, Steven set out on a cross-country skiing trip all on his own. See, that's the first mistake. You always bring a friend with you when you plan to be out in the wilderness for a long time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say being a skier. Skiers for snowboarders. Where's my snowboarder gang at?
I'm just saying it's always good to travel with a friend in a group.
Yeah, I know, David.
On your lonesome.
But I want to diss skiers because I'm snowboarder gang, dude.
Well, I know, but like you, if you don't have any friends, join Tinder and use that bullshit tab for making new friends that no one uses.
Okay. Has anybody done that?
I don't think so.
I'm scared to do that. That's how you find a serial killer.
Yeah.
I don't want to make any accusations, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it worked for someone.
Maybe. He's dead.
But boy, that was a fun afternoon.
That was really fun
golf.
before he brought me back to his skull apartment. He's not getting his deposit back. I'm just letting you know. There's blood everywhere.
You might as well just burn the place down. So Steven was planning on only being gone for the day, but that wouldn't be the case. Not returning after 2 days, people got worried and went looking. The only thing Steven left behind was a 200-yard trail of footprints in the snow that led past the edge of the lake, and that path ended quite abruptly. So with the evidence given, it was, no shock that the authorities assumed the worst and said Steven must have fallen into the freezing lake and eventually drowned after being stuck under ice.
Oh,
One
God.
of the worst ways to die.
Yeah.
I assume. I don't know. It sounds shitty.
It sounds like the worst. It sounds like you're so close to being. It's like when somebody goes above you with a fucking raft. Like when you jump in the pool and then you try to get back up and the guy with the raft goes over you. That old Dane Cook joke.
Sure.
You never had that where like you touch the bottom of the pool and you're coming up and then like somebody on their floaty is just above you, so like you're about to like break the surface and you're not really looking, and then all of a sudden you come up on somebody and you lose like 2 more seconds of breath and it just scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, remember that one time we almost did an escape room with Dane Cook?
Oh yeah, he was in the room next to us. That was fucking wild.
Well, they asked us like, "Hey, you got 2 small groups. You guys want to join the other group?" And we're like, "No, we're good." And that was the other group.
I know. We checked the pictures afterwards. Like, oh, Dane Cook was in that room. Fuck.
That would have been. I probably would have killed myself.
Yes, or Dane would have killed both of us and wore our skin.
So yeah, that's the end of my story this week. Please don't go adventuring alone, guys.
That's it. David,
Merry
that's not
Christmas.
it. That's not it. David, is that it?
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, oh my God, David just threw a fucking lateral. I don't know what to do. Let's talk more about Dane Cook.
So, Good Luck Chuck. Good movie, huh? Remember the Penguins? That was that movie, right?
I think so. Didn't the guy have sex with a cantaloupe in that movie?
I hope so. I tried to
know.
erase most of the memories.
Oh, shit. We talked about cantaloupe sex last episode.
It's full circle, man. I feel like if we really went back and listened to every episode consecutively, we'd realize this has all just been a fever dream, and we've basically just recycled the same shit over and over again.
I'm screaming into a wall right now in a mental institution. That's what this podcast is.
So, now being back in the late 70s, some details are lost, like when he actually went missing. According to a local news report, it was February 21st, 1978. Now, I might have been a little off before because one of the beliefs was that a few snowmobilers in Saugatuck discovered cross-country skis and a backpack that were abandoned and contacted the authorities, who then launched an air and land search. Some other ones say that people reported him missing, but other ones say that the snowmobilers were the ones that found, signs of someone's, stuff laying around but no one around.
Yeah.
So Steven was 23 at the time. He was set to graduate later that spring, and he must have been studying something else outside of outdoor survival. But in fact, Steven was a big old nerd.
Oh, no.
The year before his vanishing, he co-wrote an article for the campus newspaper about the poor selection of books in the library.
Oh, no one's going to read that article. They're not even reading your shitty books in the library. No one's even noticed that there's a poor selection.
Yeah, and Steven also argued with the university to install an electronic security system to keep their original Declaration of Independence safe. But we all know Nick Cage won't be stopped.
Wait, the Declaration of Independence for the school, or what is it? I don't get what they're trying to say.
As a joke, they just want to keep the book safe.
Oh, God, why do I keep falling in these fucking traps?
It's like I can't even make a joke without you being like, "Wait, really?"
I believed you. I thought they had a copy. How many of those?
No,
did they make?
I said the original.
The one in the movie's the original.
So
They let him borrow it.
fellow students have commented on not really knowing Steven, but hearing of him, calling him a brilliant, free-spirited, and a big Dungeons and Dragons guy.
Woo woo.
So
I dabble.
Kubacki also was well known for being an enthusiastic outdoorsman, traveling the world to hike monumental mountains. And it was also noted that Steven frequently cross-country skied multiple times in the area before going there, so there's nothing unusual about the trip.
Oh, so he's okay. That makes sense. Yeah. By himself though, all the other times.
Yeah.
Jeez, he's getting cocky at this point. Yeah.
Well, they didn't specify if he's by himself or not. So on May 5th, 1979, 15 months later after Steven went missing, a man woke up in a grassy knoll in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And that man was Steven.
Wait, what?
700 miles from where he disappeared 15 months later, Steven woke up like nothing happened, having no memory of the last 15 months. And he said he did not have any immediate realization of how much time had passed. And it wasn't until he walked into town and bought a newspaper, which, again, this is the 70s. And so he had no cell phone to contact anybody. So he saw a newspaper, seeing the date on it, being like, oh, shit, wait, what?
Whoa. I thought you were going to say that he saw, like, it was like missing person, Steven. And I was like, bitch, they would have gave up on me like a week after I went missing. They would have been like, yeah, don't print him in the newspaper. That's valuable ink. Don't waste that.
Don't waste the paper.
Now, there is a dog who learned to walk on his hind legs, and he does taxes. And everyone's like, put him in the paper.
You know, honestly, that is impressive. The taxes, I don't even know what that is.
They're wrong.
Why don't
You're
pay
going
taxes?
to prison if that dog does your taxes. But I'm just saying, but it does them.
Yeah, it's all a scam. I don't do them.
I could do taxes wrong. Watch me. I do them every year wrong.
So Steven did the most logical thing after realizing where he was. So he traveled 20 miles from Pittsfield to his aunt's house in Great Barrington. After he woke up and returned to civilization, Steven told reporters that he had found himself wearing clothes he didn't recognize, and he had a backpack filled with maps and hitchhiking signs, which would suggest that he had traveled to and from Sacramento, San Francisco, Reno, Chicago, and Utah.
Wait, where did he start out?
Michigan.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He went literally west to East Coast.
Yeah.
Sacramento to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I mean, one's a city, one, yeah.
But, yeah.
I get it. They get it. California, Massachusetts. Anyway,
So Steven also had $40 in cash, new hiking shoes.
which was $1 million in 1978.
Oh, yeah. New glasses, another $1 million. And a marathon shirt from the state of Wisconsin, as if he ran in a marathon.
What the fuck?
Steven said he felt like he had done lots of running recently, which, his legs and stuff were sore. He might have, had some more muscle.
His nipples were bloodied.
Yeah. Which leads me to think that he was just Forrest Gump during the 15 months.
Oh, you know what? How is this beard looking?
You know, honestly, I was a little disappointed they didn't have any mention of his beard or hair. I was really curious if maybe he had like long hair and a beard, but they
Yeah, that'd be cool.
didn't say anything.
I like running. That was my Forrest Gump.
Box of chocolates.
You got to eat your ice cream, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, you gonna eat ice cream. Ice cream, Lieutenant Dan.
I'm sorry.
Gets better.
So the bizarre thing about his story is he remembers everything leading up to the moment he disappeared, saying the last thing he remembered was feeling cold and scared of being lost in the frozen dark. So I think a lot of cases, I'm not sure, I'm not an expert on this, but I think a lot of times when people like lose memory, they lose bigger significant chunks of it, not just like the exact moment. Like he wouldn't have remembered being on the skiing trip.
Okay.
So based on what Steven said, he thinks his blackout was caused by exhaustion and exposure, and said that he would see a medical doctor for a physical, but refused to see a Jesus Christ.
Psychiatrist.
I can never say this word.
Psychiatrist?
Yeah, psychiatrist. He refused to believe that mental illness was to blame for this.
Because he didn't want to be seen as like crazy and it didn't validate him or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe he's just like, I feel fine. I've never had any problems in the past.
I mean, I don't really know.
I don't see the harm.
Yeah, I don't know any like I don't know that much psychiatry, but like I feel like he could have had like a psychotic break or something like that. But after the fact, is that something that you can still prove? Like if you come to after 15 months and then they're like, do you remember anything? And he's like, no. They're like, we think it's a psychotic break, but he's not suffering from it right now, so it's hard to prove. They can just theorize about it, I'm guessing.
And who knows, back then they might have just fucking electrocuted him until he's like, okay, I remember.
They're like, give me your tongue. I'm going to stab it with this knife and then fill it full of electricity and then stick a ice pick through your eyeball. That's what they did.
Oh, yeah, chisel.
They did it to JFK's sister.
Yeah.
Because she was a lesbian.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah. Right? She was a lesbian, right?
I'm not sure what the reason was. I haven't looked too much into it. I just know that they gave her a lobotomy and like it straight fucked her up.
Yeah, it's seriously so fucked up. I mean,
so
the whole family.
Yeah, that's an interesting family. The detectives who were investigating his disappearance had doubts about the drowning theory, and and even went as far to send Steven's dental records to Chicago to see if they matched up with any of the unidentified victims of your favorite, Tobin. Who's your favorite serial killer?
Oh, 1970? Oh, John Wayne Gacy?
Yep.
Oh, really?
They thought maybe Gacy picked him up and killed him.
Oh, fuck. Well, you know why he's my favorite, right?
Because he dressed up like a clown?
Well, yeah,
you have the same birthday?
Yeah, that too.
Hey-oh.
He's got clowns in my birthday. What's not to love about him?
Just want to give him a big old hug, huh?
No, he'll handcuff you. That's the most horrifying thing about it. Well, I should just cover that. I'd need to get that one out of my system.
I thought you did.
No, I never covered Gacy.
Ooh, you need to do. I mean, it's a big hitter, but
he is. Everyone's heard of him, but
it'll be a hard one to have.
I have a little twist on him. See, I put him on a pedestal. Everybody.
I want to bring up the positives.
Everybody else demonizes him. I want to talk about why he could be our next president.
So, this time it's not a joke. At the end of the day, no answers have ever been found. Did Steven try to run away and start a new life on the road, but after 15 months and only $40 to show for himself, did he call it quits? Did he experience a mental breakdown of sorts, erasing a large chunk of his life? Did he shamefully get lost and survive, walking in circles until finding civilization? I personally think the obvious, and that Steven Kubacki was snatched up by those little green ghouls who zip around in those damn flying saucers, and they did some real freaky shit to him for over a year.
Possibly.
I think aliens. regardless on what exactly happened to Steven, let this be a lesson to, always take a buddy with you into the wild.
That sounds like I don't want to go with you. That sounded so creepy.
You don't want to go with me?
You're I took you out here for a reason. I'm like, I don't want to go back home, Dave.
You like my knives?
Dave, I want to go back home, Dave. You're like, no, I brought a snack. Here's the real theory that you didn't really go into, because when we go out there,
I would love to hear any theories.
You want to hear my theory?
Yeah,
it's the theory that's gonna cause us to go on a 15-month hiatus of lost memory. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, I'm so hungry, and you're like, I am too. And I'm like, look through your backpack, and you open up your backpack, and you start digging and digging and digging, and you find one thing at the very bottom. You pull it out, and I go, are you gonna eat that? And you go, I'll split it with you. And then we go, and we cut the Nightmare Whopper right in half, and we each take a half, and we go to sleep in the snow. And wake up 15 months later.
I don't know which one's more terrifying.
15 minutes later with diarrhea frozen to our legs. That's the real nightmare. But
we eat our half burgers off of random city signs. I'll take St. Louis. You can have, I don't know, take New York, huh?
It's like Flat Stanley. You got to take the Nightmare Whopper to different states and take pictures with it in front of monuments,
but take a little nibble each time.
His last bite was in massive two shits. Then he came to, and that's all she wrote. Burger King, you're to blame.
Yep. God damn it, BK.
So, wow, that was a really interesting story, honestly.
Yeah,
it's
not very
so
long,
weird.
But it was too good not to tell.
What is he up to now?
I believe he's a professor and an author.
Shut up, dude. I want to.
He doesn't like take any questions about that experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting like a little bit like leaning towards he tried to like fend for himself and like disappear and like try to be. If he's hitchhiking, he tried to pull like a Into the Wild. You know that movie, Emil Hirsch.
The book.
Yeah, it's a book and a movie and a real life story, but he tried to be like, I'm going to go off the grid and just like live on my own. And then 15 months
wasn't
later,
so cool.
Yeah, he was like, oh fuck, I kind of want to go back to my life. But you can't just go like, I just disappeared, because then everybody's going to be pissed at you. So you got to pull a Walter White, like when he walked naked into the store in like season 1 and he's like, I had a psychotic break, but he was just like playing him.
I don't I remember liking the show, but I watched it so long ago I don't remember specific scenes.
No, he gets tied up in like in a murder, and he disappears for like multiple days, and like in order to not have people question like why he disappeared for multiple days, he walks into a store naked, and they're like, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, I had like a psychotic break, like I don't have any memories. And people are like, well, he walked naked into a store, he's obviously crazy. So maybe
Hold
that's
on,
what
does Barry Cran hang brain?
He doesn't. Maybe in the extended version, if you know what I'm saying.
Because I want to see Barry Cran hang that brain.
Okay, I think that's it for this week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love telling you these stories, and we love when you stick around and listen to them. If you guys want any more information, you can go to our Instagram page, Camp Strange Podcast. Click the link in the bio. We have merch there. We have links to different episodes. We have, wherever. We're Spotify. We're Apple Podcasts. If you're listening on Apple, rate, review, subscribe. We always appreciate it. If you guys want to send us anything, send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. We also very much appreciate it when you guys send in stuff. Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Happy Kwanzaa or Happy Boxing Day, whatever you guys are doing out there. We hope that you're just having a good time and you're staying safe. David, do you have anything else to say before we really head out of here? Did I miss something?
Willy Wonka wasn't. He was faking that he needed that cane. He actually does like a crazy flip thing as he stumbles. It's sick as fuck.
I like how you call it a crazy flip when it was a somersault.
Yeah, that shit was crazy though.
It was crazy though. But that's David's spoiler.
He's straight wilding on that red carpet.
Yeah, apparently that was like not even scripted. I don't know if that's true or not, but that whole movie crazy. He's really mean to those kids when he drops acid on their chocolate and runs them through that tunnel.
Nightmare.
Drops a Whopper in their chocolate. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. One more time, David, anything to say?
Fuck, I gotta come up with another one?
Fuck, okay. And don't forget to stay strange.